Hello everyone and welcome back to our live stream. This is going to be, how many live streams have we done in the past? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, today we'll be back to our Shopify theme project, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Hello Bleached. Welcome back. Hi. From Dev. Hello. It's a cute name we got there. Welcome to the stream. If this is your first time, thank you for coming. So, all right, in the previous live stream, we worked on, what did we do last time? We worked on the collection page, right? So we tried to display all the products inside of a collection, and today what we'll be doing is just to continue that and perhaps do the filter if we manage to do that. But we have plenty of time. I'd prefer to live stream for about 3 hours. So what time is it now? It's around 6 in the evening. So yeah, got plenty of time. So without further ado, let's go back to our to the main scene. I hope I can transition like that. Awesome. So let me just close this. I don't need that anymore. Before we start, if you guys I already announced this in the Discord. If you guys are interested to work for Shopify, work with Shopify as an intern, you can check out the following page where you can apply for summer 2024 engineering internships. So it's a good way to, learn not just Shopify development, but also the entire ecosystem of Shopify. So if you're interested, you can just check this out. I'll put this in the chat. Just like this. Okay, should be there. You can open that. But yeah, basically what you can do is you can sign up and send your application, like I said, and then pick which position you want to apply to. So you have the back end engineering intern, the front end, basically everything that you're looking for should be here, which is great. I had missed an hour towards the end of the last stream, so what exactly are we doing in this stream? Yep, like I said, we'll be continuing the collection page, and we'll try to at least do the filter if we manage to do that. It's gonna be a lot of work, I can imagine. Honestly, I don't have any scripts, or I'm not prepared like what we're gonna do today, which is a good thing. I'd rather not prepare. We'll do this unprepared. We're gonna be doing this like that. So I have here my code editor. Let me just close this. And let me just zoom in so you guys can see. So basically this is what we did last time. So we created a product card to display the products inside of a collection. There's going to be a snippet file, so you can use this anywhere you want, right? And you just need to apply the product object and you're pretty much good to go. It's one of the good things about snippets as well. So say for example, you have let me think of a component where you need to create a snippet. So for example, you have a grid of images. And then in that image, you can, like, whenever you hover things, it displays like a text or a title of the image. That card for the grid, you can create that as a snippet. And whenever you loop through that grid, you just use snippet or render and then the snippet file. And basically the same concept like this. So for each iteration that we do for each collection, we're just looping through that and then render the snippet file. I think I explained that well. I hope so. So this is what we did last time. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Just render those products inside of a collection. And now what we can do is we can open our browser and go back straight to the Shopify dev and look at a reference. We can do that. So themes, and architecture, and we have templates, and it should be the collection. This one. Okay. Let me try to zoom in. I'm not sure you guys can see this. And also, I'll make sure that I zoom in like this. That way I'm not blocking the chat. Everyone can see what I'm looking at. Great. From Krishna, hello, what's up? What are you doing? Welcome, Krishna, first of all. And today, like I said, we'll be working on the collection page. If you guys have missed the previous live streams, basically we worked on this kind of a meme Shopify theme. And we're building a Shopify theme where everything is just, we're learning everything from scratch, basically. And if there's any way where you can, share ideas, whenever we try to brainstorm, then you can do it with us. That's basically the whole point of this live stream. And in the future, obviously, we're gonna build not just Shopify themes, but also Shopify apps, Shopify app extensions, Shopify theme extensions, whatsoever. Basically, the entire Shopify ecosystem, will try to cover them through live streaming. At least that's the idea of what we'll be doing in the future. We love Shrek over here. That is true. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Let's just go back here. So we already displayed all of this, the products. I believe we already displayed the price as well. So we're good. Let me just go back to the terminal and run the scripts that we need to execute. First is the tailwind. I know I've been doing this a lot, but it's always a good practice to do this again and again, so you get used to it. So npx tailwind output, no input first. Should be src tailwind.css. You can always check your file names if you are not sure. src tailwind.css, and then we'll send the output to the assets folder, and the file name that we want to change is the theme.css. Oh, by the way, there's actually someone who sent me the theme live preview. Maybe we can work with that. So if you want to see what code I'm working on, maybe we can, you can see what I'm working with. Because in my internship, we did that. My boss brought it up and we tried it ourselves. And it's really nice. You guys can see my cursor, the things I'm highlighting. It's pretty great. So maybe we can try that. I think it's an extension. Live share. I think that's the name of it. Yeah, it's this one. Let's install that and see what will happen. And while we're doing that, let me just continue here to our, I'll go back to that. Let me just execute all of my Tailwind CSS. You know what? No, let's do this. So you guys can see my terminal as well. Okay. How do we enable this? From Krishna, thanks, got it. Shopify theme development online store. Is this course still up to date on Udemy? Yes, you can still enroll to that course. It's still up to date. It's online store 2.0. You learn from it, though. Of course, I'm trying my best to make it up to date, changing things up. It's always open for suggestions, recommendation. But yeah, sometimes I just don't get a time to literally put out new content for that course. So yeah. Bleach, no worries, I'll learn from his stream once I get good at Next.js. Great. So that's the whole point of this stream as well. You can learn from me If you have questions, this is the time you can do that. You can always ask questions. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Live shares, enable. Download, install. Okay. Wait for extension to finish downloading, and then reload when prompted. Once complete, you'll see live share appear. Maybe we need to reload it. Let me just close this. Okay, let's open it again. Great, there should be live share here. Okay. We need to sign in using GitHub. Allow. Okay. So I should be signed in. Allow. Invitation link, copy to clipboard, send it to anyone you trust, or more info to learn. Okay, let me just make sure that you guys can only see what I'm working on instead of allowing you to edit it as well. Right. Send security info. Okay, maybe we can do it in VS Code. Live share. Okay, maybe I can do that. And let me try do it here first. Hold on, this is taking a while. Okay, can I edit something here? I can. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, I think that's good. Perfect. So you guys can check this one out, or I'll just put it here. I'll also put it on Discord, on Twitch, and on Discord. Hold on. Switch accounts. Live share code session. Okay, so you should be on Discord, on the chat, on Twitch. You should be there. Okay, so let me know you guys can see what I'm working on, and we'll start. But hopefully it's just readme instead of allowing you to edit. That'll be crazy if you guys can edit as well. I mean that would be great as well. You know, it's just a collaboration thing. It's asking for host to approve. Really? Okay, let me see. Okay. Accept read only. Okay. Accept read only. Can I just allow this to make everything read only instead of getting prompted all the time? What about now? Is it better now? I think I'm gonna need to close what I have here. Let's delete that, close that, and let's just, undo that. Okay, perfect. So we have dev. Thank you for using the link. I think it'll make it much easier to follow along, so you guys can see which file I'm working with, and you can, copy the code just in case. All right, and that kind of hurts. Someone left. I'm kidding. Okay, great. I think I need that. And maybe I can now zoom this out. So that way I can see more. And since you can see the code, I don't have to make it clearer. Okay, so that is perfect. Everyone can see now what I'm doing. It'll make it more interactive, right? Thumb up. Anyway, let's continue. The first thing I'm gonna do, obviously, is to run the command that I've been writing earlier. That is the npx tailwind css. Hold on. Can you guys also see my terminal? I hope so. So, input, I'm seeing someone over there. I hope it's gonna be okay. Input is going to be from src tailwind.css, and then output is going to be from assets folder, and then we will call this theme.css, and we'll use the watch flag. Perfect. How are you guys doing? Is everything okay? Okay, from Soham Paul, welcome to the stream once again. Welcome back. So happy to see you here once again. Okay. Hold on, there was a problem. It's not supposed to be like that. I'm supposed to be inside of, that was my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I hope I haven't installed anything. We need to change our current directory to live. And we need to run it here. Okay. This looks sick. Perfect. I think everything is going well. So I'm really happy with that. So shout out to the person who mentioned this in the previous live stream. I appreciate that. So now I think we're gonna be more productive. And it's going to be interactive. I like that. Did I? Can someone? Oh shit. All right, guys. You guys need to chill. It's all right. But is there any way I can change that? Hold on. I'm so noob. I'm gonna stop the collaboration. Sorry, I'm going to resend another link. I apologize for that, but let me just redo it again. But this time I won't just make it read only. Okay, so this is going to be just read only. And I believe this is going to be the link. New link here. Okay. And on Discord, I'm just gonna remove this, or maybe edit. Did it work? Okay, perfect. But what about because it's asking for collaboration session? I don't understand. But it's anonymous. Always accept anonymous, I guess. But can you guys? It's supposed to be read only. I don't think it'll make it writable. So let me know if that works. Let me know if you guys can't edit it. That would be really appreciated. Yeah, that was my mistake. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Great. So I guess we can continue. I don't know what happened here. Someone made this. Okay, let's just undo that. That's great. Awesome. Anonymous lets us interact in VS Code without logging in. Okay. But you can't edit it, right? Still read only. You can see my code without touching it. I think that's good. Great. So we have our Tailwind CSS running. Next up is our theme CLI. You can just call me Bernard, Robbie. That is so polite of you. I appreciate that. Let's go. CD live. Okay. Go back here. Shopify theme dev. Oopsie. Okay. I forgot why. Come on. Oh, come on. Keep making typos. No, don't worry. We good here, we good. But I appreciate your politeness. That's great. All right, so we have our URLs. Let's just wait for that to synchronize. Okay, so we have 9 people currently watching on YouTube, and on Twitch, I am not sure how many people is watching. But welcome to everyone who joined today. Good to see you. Okay, is there any way I can just disable that? We have 4 people currently reading my scripts, which is good as well. Hope everything is readable there, or at least accessible. Now we can just open our online store. Let's do that here. And I'm gonna need password again. I should really start remembering that. So usually if you don't want to go back to your Shopify partners account, logging in again and again, usually I just go to the theme editor. That's what I do. Obviously it's still gonna ask you to log in. But that way you'll be able to go straight to the admin. So you can just exit and then go to the preference, scroll down, copy the password, and paste it here. Enter. Yo, can we have more likes on the stream? Yeah, come on chat. Spam the heart, all the emojis. Let's do this. Thank you. All right, it's great. I have honey here. Let's get rid of that. It's not a component that I created, okay? Don't get excited. How can I get rid of that? Extension. Let's whatever. Oh yeah, the like the stream, guys. We need more stats. Okay, so that being said, let's go straight to the collections. It should be collections. It's right here. So this is what we did last time. So we are displaying now the products, which is great. Perhaps I can change. Is there any way I can like make this smaller? Okay. Let's go back here. I'll open the, let me just close the product card. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just reduce the size of the text. So instead of extra large, let's make it LG. And then the background of this component, let's just change it. Let's get rid of the dark. I don't need that. Okay. And what else? Let's also clean this up. And then back. Great. Dark white, text gray. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of the dark class. Don't need that. Is there any class here that we need to get rid of? This one. Now the reason why I'm getting rid of that's because we don't really need that. Unless you want to implement dark mode in your Shopify themes, which is not the case for us. I don't think we need that. So I guess that settles it. You can save this. Go back here. It's still using the dark class, which is weird. Which it shouldn't have. Background white, shadow. Oh yes, this one. Is it? No, it's not the one. I don't know why it's dark. Hold on. Also, yeah, and we need to fix this because it's not mobile responsive. So that's a problem. Okay. So why is the background dark? I don't think I specified that somewhere. Oh, it's still using here the dark, so we need to fix that. This one. Let's all search for the dark. Okay, get rid of that. Perfect. Refresh. There you go. Awesome. That should be fixed. Now let's just fix the mobile responsiveness because it's not really working well. So what we're gonna do, let's just minimize that. We don't need that anymore. Currently we are using here we are using grid, and then basically for every size, screen size, the column is going to be 4, which we don't want. By default, the grid column should be like, for example, when it's like in mobile devices, it's going to be just 1, right? So we need to make sure that this is only applied, this class here is only applied to medium size screen. So we can just make it md grid calls for. Let's reload. Let's make it like this. Great. Let's hide that. Now it's mobile responsive. Let's try 2 other. Yeah, perfect. I think that looks good. If we make it like so, changes. But maybe if you want, you can change it to 3. Like if it's like medium size screen, change it to 3 columns per like rows. But if we are on a large screen, yeah, then let's make it 4. Grid calls 4. Okay. Perfect. That makes it more cleaner. And if we make it smaller, it changes. And if we get rid of that, now it's back to 4. So that's how pretty easy it is to make those kind of like responsiveness with Tailwind CSS. Pretty straightforward. I hope that makes sense to some of you. Okay. So now that it's clean, we can go back to making the filter. So that way we can only display, for example, products with less than 600 price. Right. Let's do that. Scroll down. Let's look for this filtering collection. A question from Bleach. Are are these going to be real products on this page? That's a good question. Well, the reason why it's all like this, and that's because when we created the development store, we have an option to allow Shopify to generate like products, placeholder products, and I believe we did that. But later on, we'll just replace this. It's not really a big issue. We can always change this. But no, they're not real products. They're just generated by Shopify as a placeholder product. Yeah, it's a demo data. It's not real. Okay. Let's go back. Here. So according to the documentation, you can use storefront filtering to filter collections in smaller subsets of products. So you can use the following as an example. So let's copy these variables here, or query parameters, and add it here. So that changed everything, right? But what if we change to ascending? I should also change everything. So now that we know how to, change the order of the product, now that we know that, how do you think we're gonna be able to create those filter? That's always the question. Okay, so I realized that the product, I can filter the products by using ascending or descending, right? By price. Now that I know that, how can I use like something to make it work like that? We can use a select tag with options like ascending, descending by price. But whenever we change that, what should we do? How should it, do the entire process? If that makes sense. So basically, we can use JavaScript to change the URL. Whenever we change this, it should automatically update the sorting of the products. It's pretty easy. The letters and typing is not good quality like the live stream. Yeah, I tried to make it work last time or today, but no, I didn't manage to make it bigger at least. Okay. So I'm pretty sure you won't be able to see the URL bar because it's pretty small, obviously. But basically what we're trying to do is in the URL, we're just adding this. Okay. So if you want to sort the products by price, and it's like ascending, descending, you can just literally add this query parameter to the URL and literally reload the page, and that should give you the products in that order, in that sort. Okay. So with that, we can use JavaScript to literally add this value to our URL and then reload the page. Sorry. From mobc, get the match data and return the product that matches in the global JS file. I'm not sure if I understood your question. Can you clarify? Oh, okay. Because you mentioned the global.js file. My throat is burning. But no, we're not going to use any global.js file. I think you've seen that from the Dawn. I think they do have that kind of file, right? But what we're going to do is we're just going to build our own JavaScript file for this. And that's very easy. And we can do that, okay? So perhaps there's an example here. What is that? Okay. So through the collection object, you can access the sort options, sort by, default sort by, etc. So we can build the following select tag, and then in the collection, there is a sort by, which you can use the default filter to create the options. Oh no, I think I'm wrong. Let's just do this one step at a time. But there's a question from Yoshwer. I hope I pronounced that right, which I'm certain I have not pronounced that right. Where are you from, bro? I'm from the Philippines. Currently, I'm in France. Where are you from? But welcome. It's been my first time seeing you here, so welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Same with Mobsy. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, let's do this one step at a time. First, we just need to create the select tag. Let's do that. Let's go back here. And what we want to do that just at the top of the paginate. We don't want to do that inside of the paginate. So let's do it here. Let's create a div with a class flex and flex row, and we need to justify it start, and maybe we can give it a gap of x of 4 or 3. I think it's fine. I'm just bowling it. But here we're going to create a select tag, and for its name, I don't think it matters, but we'll just call it collection underscore filter. And the ID, we'll just call it the same thing, collection underscore filter. And then inside of this, we're going to create that variable. So we're going to use the assign tag to create a new variable. And we'll call this, what did they call it? Sort by. So sort by. And as always, you can just honestly copy this, but I'd prefer to manually type it so you guys know what I'm doing from start to finish. Collection, and then there should be like sort by attribute here. So use that, and then we're going to use the default filter. But what are we passing to this default filter? And that's going to be default sort by. Okay. So it should be collection dot default underscore, hold on, let me just collection dot, why is it not working? Default underscore sort by. That should be good. Now let's just output the value of this just to see what happens. Sort by. Let's save that, go back to our online store, refresh. So you have the select. That's not where we want. Honestly, let's just move this first. Here. Just to see the value of the sort. So by default, the value of the sort is price ascending, because that's what we put it here. What if we change it to descending? Now it's changed to descending. Okay? So basically what this value is trying to say is we need to first get what we have here, and then we can use this value to select the selected option. This is what I'm trying to, like, how I understood it. So now that we have the selected sort option, we can go straight to the for tag to loop through all the options. So let's do that. For each option in the collection sort options, by the way, if you're confused why I always say for each option, that's just how I read it. But most developers would read as for option in collection, right? But I just like to read it like for each because it is a for each. I don't know, it's just my way of doing it, but feel free to criticize me for doing that. So for each option in collection.sort options, we are going to render an option tag with a value option.value, and we're checking if the option value is the same with a sort by that is selected, then we are going to give it a selected attribute and set it to selected. That means since we have selected price descending, the option with a value, the option with a value price descending should be the selected option. I'll show you that what it means. Okay, so let's first loop through the sort options. So let's do that. Let me just get rid of this now. Now that we know its value, we can just put it here inside of the select. And now we can loop through for each option in collection dot should be sort options. Then we're going to create the option, right? With the value, it's going to be an object, so it should be the option dot value. And then here, we'll just use the option.name. So option.name. We're not going to check yet if the current option is selected or not. We just want to display it first, okay? Let's save it. Let's go back to our browser, reload it. Notice now we have the following: featured, we have best selling alphabetically, price low to high, price high to low, etc. Now we're making progress. Now let's just make it beautiful because I don't think it looks great. That's because we did it inside of the grid. That's a mistake. So let's just move that outside of the grid. Should be here, at least. But let's also put it in a parent div instead of separating it. Just create a div and move this to inside like so. That way later on, if we need to add a class for this div, we can always do that. Let's save it. Go back here. Perfect. Now we have here the select tag. Now we can just add here a class and add a, we should move this margin Y right here. Like so. And also, since this is going to be a row, then perhaps we can just add here a flex and use flex row and give it a gap of Y of, I don't know, 10. Oops, it's not supposed to be flex row, it's supposed to be flex column. There you go. It's much better. Perfect. Now we have our select tag with options. We can now start checking the value of sort by here. So what we can do is just to add an if just between the angle brackets. Just make it readable like so. Once again, guys, if you just arrived, I do have a link that I shared. And that's going to be so that you can see the code that I'm working on. So I'm using a live share. You can always look at it if you're interested, obviously. Maybe I can share it. I don't know. There should be a link somewhere. Let me just pin the message right there. So I pinned that. You guys can see that. I hope so. You can just visit and take a look at the project that I'm working on. Okay. Right. So we can just add here an if. And the condition is if the option dot value, is equal to the sort by underscore by, that means we need to add a selected attribute. Okay, so selected, and then set its value to selected. Let's do that. Let's go back to our browser. Currently it's saying featured, but if I reload this page, it should be set to the price, high to low. Okay, that should be the value selected. There you go, price high to low, because that's what we did here in the URL. I don't know if you guys can see it. Definitely you can't see that. What happened to the pin message? I can still see the pin message here. It should be available. But hold on, if it's not available, then I guess I can just paste the URL. Is it? Is it pinned? Okay, I think it's good. Right. Oh wow, we have 15 people now. This is great. From Tianvu, welcome. Hello. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. I'm seeing a lot of people now, or new people, new faces, which is great. I think this is because of our Discord server. So Bleach, we're doing a great job at this. So yeah, how you guys doing? For those of you just arrived, what we're doing basically is we are building the collection page, and we are continuing building the collection page. Last stream we just rendered the product inside of a collection, but now we're working on the filter system. Yeah, which is it's great. We achieved our goal, 10% of it. 10% of it. But yeah, the maximum people we reach is around 20, but I wouldn't count that, because that's the time we got sniped or raided. A lot of people literally arrived for no reason. But yeah, we average 10 people, which is already a lot, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong to be greedy sometimes. I'd love more interaction with people. Okay, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's continue with the filter. Now we have the price high to low. I'll just change the URL to sort by price ascending. It should be low to high. Okay, but it's still not gonna work, because whenever we change this, it's not really doing much, right? It's not doing anything. So what we want to do, that's not supposed to happen. What we want to do is to do the JavaScript side and make sure that whenever we change this, it reloads the page and updates the URL. Okay, it's pretty much the algorithm of it. Whenever you make changes to the option, to the select tag, you change the URL to that value and reload the page, and that should work. But let's see here. So here in the script, we do have the following object or Shopify class, and we are basically just using the query params, and we are checking if the location, the search that length is set, and then we're just basically splitting those search params. We call it search params, but I call it sometimes query params. And then for each parameter, we just want to get what? The first key value. But let's just this can be a bit too confusing to some of you, especially if you don't know programming. This can be a bit really like confusing. So let's just take one step at a time, like what it is. Let's start with the Shopify query params. Okay. Let's go back to VS Code and just do it here. Let's create a new script and then create the Shopify dot query params. But if you're wondering what is Shopify, what is this thing here, how are we able to use that? Now the reason why we have that, and that's because Shopify online stores usually embed those kinds of, classes, variables that you can use. So say for example you use console.log and just output Shopify, you can see what's in that variable or an object, because I think it's a JSON object. Let's just disable the mobile view and let's open the console and let's just clear that. And if you notice at the very top, we have this. This is basically that Shopify variable. It's a JSON object where you can find all these things like the locale of your online store, and you have this load features, the country where your online store is located, your host, shop name, the theme that is currently being used, right? The currency. We're gonna go through this in the future, especially if we start working on the product page as well. It's a lot, to be fair. But basically, yeah, Shopify is just basically the basic information of your online store, and there's also like function that you can use. That's pretty much it. But we're gonna use that because we need the query params. So let's go back to the documentation. What is it next? So we are checking if the collection that searched that length is greater than 0 or if it's set. That's basically what it means. If this is empty, then it's going to be false and it's not going to do any of this. Okay. So let's do this first. If location, let me just go to the chat. From Rene, I'm currently learning Shopify theme development and I'm glad I subscribed to your channel. Great content. Thank you so much, Rene. I appreciate your feedback and apologize for that. Welcome to the stream. That's what I was trying to say. As always, if you're new here, if you have any questions, comments, whatsoever, feel free to share it to everyone. And if you also want, you can share like where you're from and what you're doing. And maybe you can share where you're developing, what your current project is about, stuff like that. It's always great to know someone's work, at least. From Robbie, Shopify is an object and query params is a method, object specific function, if I remember my JS syntax correctly. Yes, Shopify is a JSON object. You can call it whatever you want, honestly. But basically, it's just a bunch of values about your Shopify online store, and there's also like functions in there. But query params is, I wouldn't say it's a method. It's more like same thing with like Shopify. It's also an object where you can put like an array of values to it, but it's not a function. From Marcel, welcome back. Okay, let's just continue here. No, we're not going to 4. First is the location search length. So let's do this. if location search dot length is set, then we should like create this. But before we do that, let's check the value of the location that search that length. Okay, so we can always do console.log to see the value of it. So we can do location that search, and you can even like separate it with location just to see what is location that search and what is location that search that length. Okay, let's do that. Let's go back to our online store, clear our terminal. No, not terminal, but console. Reload the page. And if you notice at the top, we have the following. So the location that search is sort by, basically what we have here in the URL. And the length of it is 24. So by default, this right here, this code right here is always going to work because it's going to be true all the time. It has a value. So, but if there's nothing here in the URL, it's just automated collection, its value should be 0. You guys can see that it's going to be 0 because there's no search params or query parameters in this URL. Okay, so let's just clear this now that we know location that search that length. We can just go straight to the variable params and literally just split all those parameters, all those search params, because we just want whatever it's in the search. So let's just copy this. We don't need to literally do this manually. We just want, basically what's happening here is we want to use the substring and then split it by the ampersand, because sometimes there could be like more than one search parameter or query parameter in this URL. So it's not just sort by, but there could also be like, I don't know, filter, etc., or UTM mode or source. You know what I mean. So things can happen here in this URL. So as always, before like going through the entire search, you should know first, how can I put this? You should always split the search params. That way you can easily find the parameters that you need. So that said, let's just console.log so I can show you what I mean, because sometimes I can't explain what's going on in my head. So console.log params, and let's clear our terminal, refresh. So here, as you can see, the params variable created an array of strings. So the first is sort by, but what if we add, you guys can see this, right? Let me just zoom that. Can I get rid of this? It's annoying. Oh shoot. You know what, never mind. Basically, the params is an array of strings, and it's just getting whatever is in the URL, whatever search params or query params in there. So if you add another parameter by adding ampersand and by creating a name of it, for example, example, and the value is example, if we reload, now we have two parameters. We have the sort by and then example, but we don't need this example. We just want the sort by. So that's the whole point of the splitting and then substring. That way we can easily get the value that we want. So from Rene, hold on, let me just go back to the chat. I'm from Los Angeles, Los Angeles? Los Angeles, California. I don't even know why I'm putting like accent to that. I'm currently an email developer. That is great. Welcome. How is it like being an email developer? Are you like building like designs for emails? I assume that's how it works. I know making designs for emails is quite difficult unless you work with service provider like MailChimp, where you can just drag and drop designs. I've worked with MailChimp before, but I don't know if I got this correctly. If email developer is like that, perhaps you're doing it manually, like literally writing codes. I'd appreciate like an explanation of what email developer is. It could mean a lot of things. It could be like you're literally building your own SMTP, From Arturo Gutierrez, never seen this with Shopify before, didn't know how it can be used in script tag. I mean, there's plenty of like variables, objects that you can use. One of them is Shopify. So yeah, we're gonna go through that once again, especially like I said, if we start working with product page. It's very important, the Shopify, because there's there's the currency in there, there's the features in there, or function that you need to make it work. So we'll be back to that later on. Okay, so we now have the params. We can skip that and start working on the for tag. So we can just copy this and let's just go through it one by one, obviously. Paste it here. So we do have for var I and its default value is 0, we're going to just literally loop through the value of params, because it could be like 1 parameters or 2 parameters or more. And we want to split it by equals. We want the name of the parameter and the value of the parameter. Okay? Or the key value. And here, we're just basically building the query params. And we just want to decode that. So the first is the key value, which is the name or the key. And then its value is going to be the second index, the 1. Because 0 is the key, 1 is the value of the object. From Renee, how did you become a Shopify developer? Hold on, sorry, I kept like switching back and forth to the chat and then the project. How did you become a Shopify developer? Are you a freelancer or work for a company? Yes, I build emails from scratch. I also edit email templates in Litmus. That is great. I never really had much experience with email development. I think it's a really fun career, but it's not something like I would really literally do for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, that sounds mean, but I don't know. It's not for me. And it can be really hectic, to be honest. Well, to answer your question, I started as a freelancer. I got my first gig around 2016? No. 2017. No, actually, no. Hold on. Let me just went back to the past. No, I started 2018. I worked 2017 as a PHP developer. And then 2018, I started my first gig as a Shopify developer. And I built a Shopify app using PHP. That's how I started. It's a freelance work. So I worked with this company. I don't know if I can name it. It's basically this man has so many companies. He has like a gaming company. He has like a cooking company. And he has just so many brands that he's building. And it's I've worked in like different things. I built like a game for him. I worked as a Unity developer, and then he noticed that, oh, you're actually making Shopify videos. I do have a Shopify online store. Can you build a Shopify app for me? And that's how I started. I built a Shopify app for him. It was bad, but yeah, that's my first experience. Usually, your first project is bad, but you learn from it. Yeah, good times. Basically, the Shopify app that I built is a carousel app. You know carousel, right? The basically the Shopify app will allow the merchant to generate a URL, not just a URL, but also an embed tag, like a frame, an iframe. And in that iframe, it displays a carousel with like products in it. It's mobile responsive. I use CSS. It's on like mobile phones. You can like scroll it horizontally. It's a carousel. And that's my first project. It's not a public app. It's more like a private app specifically just for him. But I learned so much from it. And I built it using PHP, like core PHP. I didn't use any Node or any libraries at all. So yeah, first experience. And I grew from there. And then I started like writing articles about Shopify. And then WeeklyHow started. And now we're here. Live streaming to 12 people currently. Yeah, that's my my life. Let's go back to the code, shall we? So we are looping through the parameters. We're getting the key values, key paired values, etc. And we're just passing it to the query params. Now, whenever this condition is set, this query param should have a value. Okay? So we can always, after the if, check the value of the console.log. We can always check the value of query params. So let's go back here. So here in the URL, I have two parameters, sort by and example, as you can see here. So if we reload this, it should output the query params. And we have example and sort by. And now it's an object of query parameters. Great. Next is literally just, select the select tag. But the ID here is different from us. Sort by. But I think we are using collection filter. You can always rename this to whatever you want. Sort by, whatsoever. Doesn't matter. But what I want to do is just copy this and just paste it here. And make sure to change the selector. Since we have collection filter as an ID, let's copy that. Let's change this to collection filter. And then we're adding an event listener, change. So whenever we change the select, whenever we change its value, it's gonna do something. What? We're fetching first the value of this option, the targeted option, and then we are passing the value to the sort by, and then we're changing the location that search. Which search? we are just like passing here the Shopify query parameters, because like I said, the query parameters can have many query parameters. And we have to make sure that all of those parameters is still there without like affecting anything else. Okay? I hope that makes sense. But like I said, whenever we make changes to the option, the select, whenever we change, we get the value of that selected option, and then we are passing that value to the query parameters with a sort by key. So we're changing the value of the sort by, and then since we changed that, we need to update our search parameters using the new URL search params, and we're just passing the entire query parameters, and we'll just parse it to a string, and that's pretty much it. Since we changed the location.search, it should do like a load with the new query params. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So from Rene, I'm using this position as a stepping stone to get into tech. I've been learning PHP, MySQL as well. I like front end and back end. That's great. PHP is not as popular nowadays. I don't know. I feel like PHP is getting a lot of hate these days, which is quite unfair. I like PHP. I started there, but I don't know. I started forgetting it. Like, I don't know anymore how to work with it, which is quite sad. Because yeah, that's my root, but I don't know anymore how to work with it. It's a very difficult language, in fact. But one of the things that I like about PHP is the errors. Like, just when I see an error, I know exactly the problem. It's quite specific with errors. Unlike JavaScript, JavaScript can be very confusing sometimes too with errors. Okay. From Arturo, do you still create Shopify apps? Right now, no. I'm quite busy these days since I'm working as an intern. With my internship, I don't have much time building Shopify apps. And it's gonna be like that for a while because, yeah, I have work. And I have this. I have WeeklyHow, and I wanna put some time into it. I wished I can put more time to other stuff, but as much as possible, I don't do that because I want to enjoy life as well at the same time. Not just work. Don't get me wrong, I like to work. But yeah, I also have life to take care of. Next up, PHP is the least safe language. It has a lot of bugs and security issues nowadays. Yeah, I guess that's true. Not the least safe, but not so safe compared to other languages. I mean, programming languages have its problems here and there. What's going on with my Twitch live stream? It literally just disconnected me and reconnected me. I hope nothing happened. Work. Don't get me copyrighted. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked once again. As always, if you have questions, etc., you can just post it in the chat and I'll read them. Not just question, but also something funny. You can post memes, whatever. Okay, this should make the filter work now. So if we save this, let's go back to our online store. And now let's just reload this. If we change this to featured, see, now it's it's reloading, right? If we change the best selling, it reloads the page and it changes everything. If we change the alphabetically to A to Z, change it as well. So the collection snowboard, hydrogen, liquid, etc. It's all T anyway. So, but you will notice that it's in order alphabetically. Same with this. It should also sort that by alphabetically. The price should work. Notice that the price is increasing. Price high to low, from highest to lowest, 600, great. And date, old to new. I don't even know how I can identify which one is new, which one is old, but it's working. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're done with the collection. Who requested this? By the way, I hope he's here. I'm not sure who did request this. Hold on, I think it's on Discord. I think hold on. No, I don't think it's in the stream. Shopify theme development? Oh, it's from Robbie. Oh no, it's not you. You're from the layout. No, I don't think I don't think it's in the Discord. Yeah, last stream. Yeah, I remember, but I don't remember the name who requested it. But yeah, if he's watching this, then that's it. That's pretty much how you did the filter. If you're not here, then I hope you get to see this. It's still gonna be on YouTube, so hi. Say hi, everyone. Oh yeah, but anyway, that's it. We're done with the collection. That works now. I guess we can play around with other things. So we have worked for an hour and a half. So I'm happy with that. We still have an hour and a half. So if you guys have any idea what we can do, we still have time. Oh, it was you, Farhan. So you're the one who requested, right? From what I can remember. It's great. I hope you you understood what we did. And besides, it's in the documentation too. So you can always check this one out and use this as a reference. And this is one of the things I like about Shopify. Literally, their documentation is on point. Yeah. But there's one thing I don't like. It's liquid. Their liquid documentation can be overwhelming because there's so many things. But yeah, I think it's better than before. Their documentation in the past is, I'm not a big fan, but this time it's really good. Okay, a request from Robbie. You've been hard coding colors via Tailwind. Can you teach us how to enable schema setting for changing the product card button, maybe? Right, that's a good question. So this is where you can use schema settings, not the section schema settings, but the schema settings. So which one is that? It should be inside of the config. So we have here the settings schema.json, right? We did this in the past. So we did create a setting called color background, so we can change the background of our Shopify online store. You can see that in the theme editor as well. So you can always do that here. So if you have any experience with section schema, building your own setting schema, theme setting schema is pretty easy. I keep burping, I apologize. I just ate. Anyway, so here in the theme settings, notice that we have here, not that, basic settings, this one. We have the background, right? And you can change the color here to whatever you want. Change it to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And it should change. But the problem with this is that it's not really a color selector, but rather a CSS code, because the reason why we use CSS code, and that is because maybe you want to make it a gradient. You can use like linear like command or code, something like that, gradient. Though I'm not familiar with the entire thing. Yeah, like this. So linear gradient, and then literally create that color. Okay, but that's what we're going to do. Okay. Let's just change it to, okay, let's use linear. Now let's make it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, it's not supposed to be like that. F, 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 F. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Save. And that should be good. So we can just go back to the code editor and create a setting for the buttons, for example. Another question, how can we create global color scheme option? So this is more like a CSS question, because you can create global variables with CSS, right? So you have like primary colors, you have secondary colors. You can do that with CSS. And then whenever you make changes to your, for example, instead of using a setting where you can change the color, you can use a drop down with like primary, secondary. Is that what you're trying to say? Am I getting it right? Okay, so for now, let's just create a setting that will allow us to change the color of not just buttons, but also maybe primary text, right? So let's create a new setting just above that. It's going to be an object, and the type, we'll set it to color. And then the ID, we'll set it to primary color. And then its label, we'll set it to primary, no, not like that, primary color. And then the default value is going to be, so this is where you can just start working with your color schemes. So say for example, since this is a Shrek project, I guess this is the green that we used in the past. We'll just use that as a primary color, right? Maybe we can search online. Shrek color scheme. Ooh, great. Okay. Which one is good? This one looks good. From Bleach, I have to go now, Mal. I'll see you in the next stream. Gotta sleep now. Peace out. Fun watching this stream today. All right. Thank you for joining us, Bleach. Thank you for moderating. Thank you for making sure that everything is a good stream. So yeah, get some sleep. Hope to see you next time. Yeah, gonna talk on Discord as usual. Take care. From Nandu, how to build a good project in backend? It's a very vague question and very difficult to answer. I mean, every project can be a good project. It depends on you. So I'm not sure I understood what you want me to say. All right, Bleach. See you next time. Honestly, I'm not sure if I can stream tomorrow. Or maybe I'll stream tomorrow, yeah. But on the weekends, probably not. So I'm gonna be busy. This is the reason why I stream today. Because on the weekends, I'm gonna be busy. And wanna, spend some time with people. Not just you guys. But no. I'm gonna be busy next week, this weekend. All right. Anyway, let's just continue with the color scheme. I'd prefer to, I guess, use the console, not the console, but this, so I can highlight things here. So, for example, color, and then let's just highlight this one. Or not that one. This one right here. This one can be the primary color, to be fair. Let's just copy that and paste it here. And let's make it uppercase DCB04E. That's the primary color. And we can select a secondary color. It's going to be the chocolate. This one right here. Let's copy that. Let's create a new setting type. It's going to be color. And then we'll set its ID to secondary color. But I think I've seen a weird type. And that is the scheme. I'll look at it. We'll look at that together. Secondary color. And I also received something on Discord. I'm gonna read that. Default. Paste that like so. Make the letters uppercase. Okay. Let's save that. Go back to the browser. Now we can close this. We don't need that. Okay, so we should have the primary color and then the secondary color. Great. So let me just open Discord. I seen something. Oh, it's this one. Oh, by the way, Robbie, make sure that you use the right channel. I believe Bleach created a new channel for stream links. So yeah, I guess I appreciate that. But yeah, move the chat. Robbie, thank you so much. It's not in the right channel. Yeah, okay. We don't have that before. The one you shade here. So I haven't used that yet. So we can try that. But yeah, you can move this chat to the lobby. Or in the theme development general channel, because it's in the wrong channel. Thank you so much. Okay, I guess let's use that. Let's try look at that. I'm going to open the sections. You can use either the lobby or the Shopify theme development channel general. Either of the two, it's fine. Thank you. Appreciate that, Robbie. So, which is it again? It's not supposed to be the template, it's supposed to be sections, settings, dynamic sources, deprecated settings, input settings, sidebar. No, that's not it. That's not it. Oh shoot, my bad. Settings, overview. Let me just open this. Okay. Let's just go to the input settings. I want to look at that scheme, color scheme type. I don't see any. Okay, on this page, we have color scheme. Oh, this one. Okay, it's this. Right. This is a new thing. I never seen this before. So a setting of type color scheme outputs a picker with all the value, theme colors, themes, and a preview. Okay. Theme color schemes and a picker are defined using the color scheme group. There we should be able to create those schemes. When accessing the value of color scheme type setting, Shopify returns the selected color scheme from color scheme group. If no value was entered or the value was invalid, then the default value from color scheme is returned. If the default value is invalid, then the first color scheme is returned. Okay. So I guess we need to create first a color scheme group. And there we can set up the color for the text. Okay, so it's like a template of colors. At least that's how I understood it. All right, thanks, Robbie. Appreciate it. Okay, we can try this. I think it's gonna work for our Shopify theme. Usually, yeah, I use my own color setting. Let me just minimize that. I do it like this for each color. But now that we have that color scheme, we can try experimenting. That way we can also remove this now, the color background. So it's now a template of colors. So we can set different styles, at least. So let's do that. I'll get rid of, no, I'm not gonna get rid of the background because it's being used by our Shopify theme. Let's just get rid of this first. Let's create a new object. And the type is going to be color scheme group, right? Am I doing it right? And the ID, we'll set it to color schemes. Color underscore schemes. And let's just perhaps, I don't want to copy the entire thing. Let's just do this step at a time. That way it'll make sense. So for example, we want to change the color of buttons. We can define that. So first we need to give it a kind of like a header. So this is more like a sidebar setting, right? So let's create the definition. Definition. It's going to be an array. So the first is going to be the sidebar header. So we'll set it to header, and then the content, right? We'll change it to what do we have here? Let's just use this as a reference for now. So the color scheme basically changes the text, the buttons, the on click, the border of the primary button, the secondary as well, So it doesn't have any. Oh, it does have a background. Okay. So perhaps we can implement the background here as well. Okay. Let's start with the background. So for the content, we want to change the background. Tuck. No, that's it. And then underneath of this is where we're going to create the type. So let's just move this, put it here, like so. Now, to get rid of this comma, now we can start giving it a role, because we defined already the color scheme, at least for the, we defined already the first setting for the color scheme, and that's going to be for the background. So what we want to do is to create the role, and I believe the key background is the ID. So let's do that. So here, Sven Mayer, thank you so much for subscribing. Same with Himadri. Thank you so much for subscribing. Okay, let's just continue here. We're going to create the role. There's going to be an object, and we want to use the ID of the setting, right? So it should be background. So if you change this to site background, that's where you're going to use site background, like so. But since we are using background, we'll just change it back to background. And what about its value? Is it going to be a solid, or it could be like a gradient? It's like an option. So let's make it solid. Background. Hold on, this can be a bit confusing. No. Hold on. I'm wrong. Basically, this is the ID of the setting according here, right? So this setting has an ID of background, but in the role, we also have background, and we are specifying the ID in the solid and a gradient as well. I think I'm a bit confused now, to be honest. But let's try to test it, because I could be wrong. So we're getting error here. Oh, okay. So it's necessary to have all of this. I see. Okay. Yeah, then that's my mistake then. So a color scheme requires you to create all of this and give them like values that you define here in the definition, right? So you need to create another one, and that's going to be the background gradient, and that's going to be for, though maybe you don't need to create the gradient. So here we can take a look. Hold on. Yeah, it's not necessary to create the gradient. You can just use the solid. It's fine. Interesting. Actually, I'm confused. I've never used this before. I'm gonna be honest. But I think I'm getting it now. A little bit. So once I understood, maybe I can try to explain it. Okay. So the role basically is you need to create all of this. It's important that you have all of these values or properties. before you start building the definition. So if you start working with like color schema group, you start with role. Make sure that you have everything first set up. So since we have the background, we can start with the next property, and that's going to be on primary button or primary button, right? And then I believe this is going to be the ID. So it can be a string or an object. Well, object is two, only properties are okay. So basically each row will have the ID of the setting. Actually, you don't need to do this like so. You can just pass here the ID of the setting. Since we have background, pass it here. You don't need to make this into an object unless you need the gradient property. Since we just want solid, we'll just pass directly here the ID of the setting. Does that make sense? We'll do the same thing for the primary button. So what you want to do next is to create another setting. You can just duplicate this honestly, but change the header, the sidebar setting to buttons. And now this is not going to be color background, but rather a color, right? Honestly, this one should be changed to color as well. We're not gonna use color background this time. Let's make it to color. And what we wanna do, it's very unfortunate because I deleted the colors that I copied earlier, but we move. The primary button should have an ID of the setting. So we'll change this to primary color. We'll put it here. That's the primary button. Now next up is the on-click primary button. We'll create another setting. And this is going to be on click, or let's just call on primary color. Let's change the label. Hold on. It should be primary color. It should be on primary color. And we'll just copy the ID, paste it here. Is it starting to make sense for you, Robbie? Though obviously we haven't saved it yet, so maybe it's not gonna work later. Let's just hold our horses. Maybe it's not gonna work, but let's just move and finish this up. Next one is secondary. You know what? Let's just do everything first. So on secondary button. Next up is primary button border. Let's do it underneath of the primary. So primary button border. And this one, secondary button border. And last is the icons. Next is the links. Next is the text. Okay. That should settle it. The role should be like that. More so than 10 minutes ago, at least. But yeah, let's try to just take one step at a time. But basically, the role, we need this to be set first, and its value should have the ID of the setting that you created here. Okay. So let's do the border. Let's create another setting. Put it underneath. It's going to be a color as well. The ID, we'll set it to primary color border, or primary border color. I think that makes more sense. And the label, primary border color. And we'll copy the ID, paste it here in the primary button border, right? And we can do the same thing for the secondary button. Now what we want to do, just literally copy this, the 3 input settings, and just like paste it here, okay? And let's just change the IDs. That's pretty much it. So I'm highlighting the primary color, and I'll just like press Ctrl D to select the next one, and we'll change it to secondary underscore color. But we will also want to change the primary border color to secondary color, like so. Now we can do the same thing. We'll change the value of secondary button to secondary color, and it's going to be on secondary color here. And the secondary button border will have the secondary border color. And now we can just start working with icons. Great. Create a new object. The type is color. And to be fair, we can just copy this. It's all gonna be a color anyway, so it don't matter. But it's important to always set up your ID and make sure that it's aligned to the scheme or the role that you're working with. Shared color palette in Discord, man. Okay, thank you for that. We'll work with that later. Let's just set up the scheme first, okay? Let's take it one step at a time. So the ID is going to be icons color. Copy that, paste it here for the icons. Change the label to icon color, or just icon. Next, the link. Let's copy that, paste it here, change the ID to links color. The label, we'll change it to links. And just copy the ID, paste it here. And then lastly, the text. So let's create that setting. Change the ID to text underscore color. The label, change it to text. Copy the ID, paste it here. That's it. I think we're good. We have created our color scheme. So let's save that. And we can go back to the theme editor and pray for the best. It's not gonna work. Okay, is it gonna work? Who wanna bet? Who wants to bet? Is it gonna work? It's not gonna work. Okay, so we have an error. No color schemes defined. Color schemes must be defined in settings data and settings schema files. So you also need to work with settings data, because I think it needs a default value. It needs a default value. Since there is no default value, like there's no selected default schema, then yeah, it's not gonna work. So let's troubleshoot. Maybe we missed something, perhaps. To be fair, it can be very confusing as well, because literally the key value is the same It's like, which one is this? But maybe sometimes you're just not reading documentation like I am. I'm not reading anything. So a setting of type color scheme group outputs a color scheme which is composed of the following input setting types: the header, the color, color background. Okay. Color schemes can be added only in the settings schema.json. We did that. But we also need to work with the settings data.json. So we need to create the color scheme group in the settings data.json. That's the thing that we're missing. Okay. So I believe we just need this in the data. So let's do that. Let's go back to VS Code and open the data.json. But hold on, honestly, before we do any of this, I'm going to push the things that we did before. What happened here? We're gonna push this one here, this one here, this one here, this one here, right? This is the collection page. So let's just make sure that it is in the GitHub repository. Okay. So we can just label this as completed. And it's going to be the collection page with sort or filter. Commit. Okay. We can just push. Let me just type my password there. There we go. And that should be pushed. Now we can continue with the settings data. As much as possible, I want to separate that by commits, so it's much more easier to access the changes that we made. Let's work with the settings data now. So what are we missing? The color schemes. So I didn't really get rid of all of this data. All of this came from Shopify Dawn. I didn't remove all of this, to be fair. So what we should do, honestly, is clean this up. I'll get rid of this because we don't need this. Okay. Just close it like so. Yeah. As much as possible, we should have like an empty settings data just to start from scratch. The logo width, I don't think we need that. It's not being used anyway. And we have here the color schemes. And we have scheme 1, scheme 2, scheme 3, scheme 4. But let's just get rid of all of this and just have one scheme. So we need to change this. I'm assuming all of this is the ID of the setting. So we need to go back to the settings schema and literally copy the IDs here. So for example, background, that is good. Background gradient, we don't have that. So let's get rid of that. Are you following along, Robbie? Or the rest of you? There's no favoritism in this class. No, but like, this is going to be the IDs of the setting. So we have primary color here. Let's copy that. It's gonna be interesting. Because this is going to be primary color. Let's just pretend that that's primary color. And then on primary color, now this is curious. Hold on. Don't get me distracted. Let's get rid of all of this. Or no. Let's just keep going. So we have on primary color. Let's put it there. And then primary border color. Let's put it here. And we have the secondary color. Let's put it here. It doesn't matter what color it is. I don't care. And we have the text. That's good. We can just create another line. And literally just do the same thing on secondary color. And change this to this. Like that. From Amini Amari. And then Anand Shukla. Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Welcome to Amine. Good to see you again. Love the glasses. Yeah, I'm trying to, make you guys get used to it. Because, yeah, I never actually shared something about this, but yesterday I went to my eye doctor for a checkup and I can finally buy myself a new glasses. But I'll do that a couple days later or weeks. Because holy hell, glasses are expensive. I can buy a laptop with it. But thank you for the compliment. Okay, anyway, let's just continue with this. Next one is the border. So it should be secondary border color. And we'll just copy this line here. Paste it like so. What else are we missing? The links. So it should be links, right? Or did I call it links color? I'll call it links color. And also not text color. So this one should be text color. We have background, text color, on primary color, primary border, secondary color, on secondary color, secondary border, links underscore color. Let's just copy this, paste it like so. Okay. From Amine, as a Shopify developer, what do you do most of the time? Create themes from scratch or customize existing ones? Well, if I'm gonna be honest, right now I don't have much. I don't have clients anymore, to be fair. I'm not working with a client anymore. Someone messaged me a couple days ago, and I think he wants to work with me. I should actually respond to him. But the reason why I rarely work with clients now because I just don't have much time anymore because of my internship and because I also want to focus on WeeklyHow. That's the only two priorities that I have at the moment. But to answer your question, what do I do most of the time? Well, I prefer to customize existing ones. Creating themes from scratch can take a lot of time. And at this point, it's not easy. But it depends on the project, of course. If the project is fun to, work with, then I'd start working with it from scratch. But most of the time, I just like to customize existing ones. It's easier. I hope that answered the question. But no, I don't do much Shopify development these days. It's just this, doing live stream and coding with Shopify. That is what I'm doing now. Okay, I think we are good to go. Though I think I'm missing the scheme one here. Maybe... Maybe I'm missing the ID, and I think it's not the same. So color scheme 1. Okay, there's more to it. We never really read any of it. The role field outputs a color scheme preview. The color scheme previews are visible to merchants anywhere in the editor where they might pick a color scheme. Okay. You can assign a role background to the background definition. Okay. The following started mapping. Right. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. It's not very clear, to be fair. But how do we use it? I don't see any ID that is being used. Huh? We have scheme 1 here. That's a default. You know what? Let's just let's try it, because I don't see this being referenced anywhere else. There's no defined scheme 1 here at all. So where did that exist? Let's try to save our files. Maybe we get an error. There's no error as well. That's weird. Okay, let's try to refresh this. Maybe it'll work. There we go, it worked. Robbie, it worked. So, okay. So when you build a definition or color schemes, you need to define it and the roles. And then you also need to put it in the schema data. Give them like default values. Right? So since we have this, let's compare the values, because there's 2 values for all of this. The one from setting schema, because here we define the default value, correct? And the one from settings data, which is here. So the background color, the background has a value of FFF, but in our setting schema, we set its value to this. But apparently it's still using the one from settings data. Notice that. It's FFF, right? So it's not really doing any of this. So I believe the default value is not really necessary, but you have to put default here. So that's quite confusing. Like you define a value in the setting schema, but you can also define a value. Oh, okay. Right, I think I get it why you can also do this. I think the reason why you have an option to replace the values here by doing this. Yeah, why am I so confused? What's going on Discord? I keep getting like notification. What's going on here? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we can start checking this one out. Where did you get this? This is great. Yeah. It's really ironic because I said like I really like the new documentation Shopify, but here there's like there's like confusion. It can happen. Yeah, I think this is one of the problems with documentation as well, because whoever made documentations, they always assume that you should already know it. Like, I don't need to teach you the basics of programming. You should understand what is this, because that's mostly the case of like documentations. So it's quite difficult to read sometimes. But I guess the more you do it, you get used to it. Right, okay, so thank you for that. Thank you for the color palette. We're gonna be using that for sure. Okay, let's do it. But what happens if we get rid of the settings? That's what I want to try. Right? What happens if we do that? Yeah, it's going to use the one from your, where is it again? Sorry, let me just, the one from your setting schema. So I believe it's always good to define your default color here instead of the settings data. So let's do that here. Great. So the background color, I just want it to be FFF. What do you have here? Or maybe let's do the E1, the paper style. E1DF B6. E1DF B6. Did I do it right? Okay. And also notice that since we created this, the header buttons, you should see that it's being separated by this, right? So maybe we can also do the same thing for this. Okay, maybe we can call it primary buttons, and then let's separate the secondary with that title header. I meant secondary. That will make it more easier to look at. And here we can change this to icons. And here I guess we can change this to text. Okay, so let's go back to theme editor. And there we go. Now we have the background as well set to that color. Great. And let's start working with the primary colors and secondary colors, etc. Go back to Discord and okay. So the primary color, I want it to be maybe this one, the 8CB04E. 8CB04E. Primary color, where is that? This one here. What is it again? Sorry. 8CB. 8CB04E. That's the primary color. And I believe we can do the same thing for the border. But the on, we want to make it, I guess, darker. So I want to open a browser. Color hex. Come on. Yeah, that's what I want. Let's copy that, paste it here. And what is that? It's primary, right? What is it too bright? It's supposed to be like this, huh? Why is it too bright? I don't think that's the right. Hold on. Is it the right one? No, it's not the right one. Sorry. Sorry. My bad. It's this one. Sorry. I apologize. There we go. We want to make it a bit darker. So like that. Let's copy this. And that's going to be for the border. Uppercase C, 44. And if we hover it as well, I guess we'll just do the same color like that. Okay. And for the secondary, which one do we use? This one right here, 5C4, 52D. 5C4, 52D. Let's copy this, go back to Google, paste it here and make it darker like so. Copy the new code, scroll down, and we want to use it on the on click. Uppercase A, copy this, paste it here. You're saving my day. I appreciate that. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna go back here. Okay, so we got this color right here. What else do we need? Perhaps the links, right? The one right here. Which one is good looking for links? The last one, I think. It's fine. Let's use it here. Links. And for the default text color, obviously we want to use like this. So 1414. Like that. Okay, I think that's good. Save that. Let's go back to our browser. Reload our theme editor. Perfect. Great. Now we have our background color. We have our primary colors. Secondary. Hold on, there's like a bug in here. It's supposed to be secondary. I thought I changed it. I didn't change the label. Oh, that's a shame. Secondary. Okay. Let's try it again. Okay. The icons, maybe we can change that to we can change that to chocolate. Let's copy this. Use this color instead. No, that's text. Icons here. Yeah, perfect. All right. So we got the color scheme now. Great. Now how can we use this? So we can change colors. Let's go back to the collections here. So we can start changing this. The color of the buttons, the color of the text, the color of the background. We can start customizing that. This is great, brother. You're a magical wizard. Thank you. This is great. Actually, I just learned it too. So thank you for bringing this up. I actually didn't know this existed. So I have so many things to discuss. I was writing a new video, a new script. I'm working on it. So I will have a new video around in 2 weeks. Give me some time. But I'm working on a new video. It's Shopify app related. And now this. I want to cover this as well. So I'm going to make another video. But yeah, so many projects to look forward to. But obviously, live streaming as well. I'm gonna do this too. Right. But okay. Let's go back to our code editor. and start using these colors. I believe the only way to use this is by using settings.colorScheme, right? Yeah. Settings.colorschemes.id of the setting. I assume that's how it works. So let's go straight to, I believe, layout and theme.liquid, because I believe we're using an object here. Yeah, here. So we're using settings.background, but this time we're going to use settings.colorschemes, and then the ID of the input setting, it's background. Okay. This time we just add a color scheme. No sleep for you, just stream 24/7 so you can answer. You wish. But come on, give me a break. I mean, I'm not even making money here. I'm just doing this for free. I would if I'm like getting thousands of dollars from doing this, but I'm not. I even disabled the ads so you guys can watch without any, interruption. So I'm doing you guys a favor. So don't force me to do 24 hours. I sound so mean. I'm kidding. Sorry. But no, it's impossible. I wish I could, but no. Anyway, let's go back to background. So now we have color scheme. We can just literally use settings.colorschemes.background. I assume that's how you should use it. So let's try it. And let's go back to the theme editor. Let's try to reload. Looks like it didn't work. Let's go back here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to double check the head because it should be in the head, right? So we have here the style. So let's look for that. So notice here the style doesn't have any values. So that means that thing is not returning anything. Let's go back here. And how did they use that? If no value is returned, There's no example here either. That's quite unfortunate. Maybe you need to use it? I'm lost. So how do we use this? Color schemes? Hold on, let's go back to the code editor. Color schemes, that background. But it's not returning anything. Is there something like color schemes? Let me just double check. But let's do it outside of it. Put it here. It's always a good thing to just debug it. So I see something over there. Color scheme group. But is there like background? It doesn't return anything. So what is the value of that? It's not even showing anything inside of it. So that's quite weird. I have one way to like find out how to use it. Let's go to github.com, Shopify, Dawn. And let's just look at an example. So maybe we can search. Is there a way to search? Color schemes. Color schemes. Color schemes. Really, I can't search for color schemes. There you go. So it's using first filter. Right. Hold on, let me just try to understand how they do that. Because you can't apparently just access the colors inside of the color scheme. So perhaps we need to use a filter, like first. But I want to see what this outputs. Okay, so it outputs scheme 1. You saw it there, right? So like just really quick one, but it says scheme 1. So that's the first inside of our color schemes. But how can we access literally the background? That's the question. I don't see any reference to the or maybe it's an array. Huh. Maybe you access it by doing this. Hold on. Just put it back. Background? Let's try. No, it's still not working. What if I get rid of the quotes? Still not working. At this point, we're just literally just troubleshooting. Oh, so it's not really putting anything out. So, okay. This is tricky. There's not even like anything here that can help us. So the settings data, color schemes, the following set generates the following output. Well, this time what we're trying to do now is to use the value of our color scheme. Because right now we're still not using it. Yes, we do have the setting, but it's not really being used yet. That's what we're trying to figure out now. We want to use it. But we don't have that. So we do have the setting with an ID, color schemes. It's right here. We're trying to apply to the background CSS. Maybe we need to also do this definitions dot background. I don't know, I'm just name-balling it. Definitely not. First. The thing I seen someone literally that do it like this, settings color scheme first, but does that actually output in the main? Hold on, let me just close the head. And the main, yeah, we do have the scheme one here. That is this. But we want the value of it. When accessing the value color scheme type, Shopify returns the selected color scheme. When accessing the value of a color scheme type setting, Shopify returns the selected color scheme. Huh. Maybe this is where we need the data. Here. Maybe this is also needed. Let's try. So it's okay, scheme 1, that's there. But that's not what we want. We want the color schemes, that background. It's not outputting anything. First. Whew. Access that. We don't have much resource. Even in the dawn, it's not even clear how to use it. Because the color schemes first just returns the name, literally the name of the color scheme. But we want the settings. We want the values. How do they do that? Section setting color scheme, scheme 1. That's pretty much it. Maybe I'm searching wrong. Type color scheme. It's not what I want. Card color scheme. No, that's not it. Section settings. That's not it as well. Product.json. No, that's not it. Type color scheme, ID color scheme. Nope. Yeah, this one is not helping at all. Do we need to create another setting just to get the values of it? That's weird. Color scheme dot. Nope. Color schemes dot. There's no either. So literally what I'm trying to do, it's not gonna work in the first place. So this thing right here, that's not gonna work. So this is supposed to be an object, an array perhaps. But how do we get the definitions? That's literally the problem. Maybe there's a reference where it's using bracket notation? That's it. There is color, color scheme, and color scheme group. Type select ID, color scheme, options, value accent 1. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's more like you're creating another setting which loses its own, which loses the point. I mean, you're gonna create another setting just to get the value of the color scheme. I don't know. That makes it complicated. I mean, you could just literally just create a bunch of like input settings that uses color type instead of building this entire nonsense if you can't even like access the values. I don't know, maybe it's a bit frustrating. Huh. Let's try search for color schemes group. There's one right here. Maybe this can help. I don't know. No, that's not really it. That's more like when you define it. So if that's the case, then yeah, that's nonsense. So in order for you to be able to use the colors from your color scheme, you need to create a new setting to fetch the value of that color scheme. Why? Okay, let's try. Let's try. Let's try. Let's confirm that theory. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always open for being wrong. We don't want to do it here. Yeah, but that's the thing. I want to have like to be able to literally just build my style and fetch the setting. That's the whole point of this. But now that we need to create a section setting, that's quite impossible now. But whatever. I guess let's try. Let's do in template collection. And let's build a schema. And it's going to be called collections. Collection page. And okay, let's build a new setting. The type is going to be color scheme. And the default, no, not default, but the ID, we'll call it, what is the ID of this? No, because the one you sent, Robbie, it's a select type, select type input. And basically the whole point of it is just, it's like an option, a bunch of options with different values. But hold on, let me try this first. So I'll set the type to color scheme. I'll just give it an ID of example. Label, color scheme. I guess the default value is scheme 1, right? Because we have scheme 1 by default. Let's save that. Let's make sure that we don't get any errors. No errors at all. That's good. Okay, I get something from Adnan. Type color scheme, ID color scheme, label, default background 1. Okay, first of all, let's just go back to the theme editor. Let's see what happens. So we are in the collection. That's good. Let's go back to sections and collection page. Okay, so it's using the color scheme, scheme 1. We can change it, but how do we use the how do you use the value? We're still in that problem. So yes, okay, we get the color scheme. Let's try that. Let's try to literally just output the section dot settings dot example dot, then what? It's not even outputting anything. Okay, we have scheme 1, but how do we get the value of background? No, it's still not literally putting anything. Text color? It's not gonna work either. Let's use bracket notation. Nope, not working. Perhaps we need to put it in single quotes. Nope, not working. Right? So no, that doesn't really solve the problem. We need to get the value. But how do we do that? Oh man, this is tough. Color scheme. But I can see that I wanna know what's going on here. What is this badge scheme ID? Okay, so sold out badge color scheme. Settings that color schemes, badge scheme ID. Okay, thank you for that, Adnan. Maybe that can work. Okay, maybe that can work. Let's try that. For each scheme in settings dot color schemes, then we output scheme dot settings dot background. Okay, let's try that. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, because it's an object or it's an array. Because there could be multiple schemas, right? Or schemes. But why do we need to use for? I don't see the... It's quite heavy. I guess we can just build, for example, this is what I'm thinking. Like here, for example, we can create root, right? Like that. And literally build like variables here, like primary. But we also, what we can do is create a for and build those variables like how do we build variables again in CSS? Usually there's a reference at the bottom. Okay. So we can just do it like this. So slash, and then instead of like, we can just put here scheme. Scheme. No, hold on. I guess scheme one background. Like that. I'm trying to play around. And the next one is going to be for the primary color. Let's copy this. Primary color. I'll make use of hyphen instead. And then on primary color and primary color, primary border color and text color. Let's just do it like that. So primary color for primary color, on primary color, and this one is primary underscore border underscore color, and this one is going to be text underscore color. Let's try and experiment with that. And then let's reload. So that should create this. Now we have created our own set of variables. We have scheme1 background, scheme1 primary color, right? And now we can just reference this. At least that's how I'm gonna do it. So instead of using this object, I guess we can use var now and use scheme. But now, hold on. Now we can use settings dot color schemes, and then first. And then, since this is going to output scheme1, we need to append. We need to append. So append background or hyphen background, because we want this. Because it's scheme1 hyphen background. Does that make sense? Because this thing right here is gonna output scheme1, and we want to append hyphen background. And this thing right here, this entire thing right here, should be this. I hope it's making sense. But let's try. Let's try save this. Right. So it's not really working yet, but now you can see that this thing, no, it should have worked. Because the value of Skim1 background is FFF. But now if we go to the theme editor and let's go to the settings, let me just reload. That was tricky, but I think it's making sense in a way. Let me save. Okay, now the Skim1 background has changed to this value, but this didn't really change. What about the color? Right. So I don't think, yeah, didn't work. Because we need to end this right here with semicolon. Forget about that. There we go. Bro, all that for that. There you go. Oh my god. Now we can change this. Perfect. Let's go, boys. Well, that was exhausting. I can just put it back to white and save that. Wow. Okay, that was a ride. So we're gonna end it there. We're gonna end it there. We've been streaming for like 3 hours now, so that's great. But yeah, I hope that makes sense, at least. So, in a way, it kind of does. You need to loop through the core schemes and create your CSS variables. And you can use these variables using CSS. That's the reason why always see a settings.core scheme first. Because everything is a class. At least that's how Don implemented it. Obviously, there's many ways to implement it. One is how I did it. So just declare like a bunch of CSS variables for each colors and reference them using var function. Yeah, you can do it that way too. Yeah, I guess it's starting to make sense now. So you can't directly reference them using settings.core scheme.background. Yeah, I thought you can because by default you use one scheme. Like that's all you have. But at the same time, yeah, I guess you can create another scheme and it can be confusing sometimes. So if you have another scheme, this is going to literally be so big. Just a bunch of like schemes in your heading. But yeah, it's great though. Yeah, I think it's making sense now. So you can literally just now duplicate this and change this now to secondary. And you can apply the same icon color, if I am typing it correctly, icons color, and also the links icons color, and lastly the links links color, links color. And now you can just create those variables here. Right. Oh no, not reference, just reference all of this. So for example, in our tailwind.css here, we can create like, the thing is, no, you can't do it here. You need to create your own asset here. Or no. Yeah, this one, you need to create your own CSS to create your primary colors, secondary colors, and other component colors. You can't mix it with Tailwind CSS because maybe you can. Maybe you can. Let's try. From Animish Ryu, hi, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Actually, it's about to end. We still have 5 minutes left. But welcome. Thank you for joining. What are the specs of your PC? Well, it's a laptop. It's not really impressive, but I'm using Lenovo. I don't know what model this is, but it's like Intel Core i5. Has the graphics card RTX. I can't really give you an on-point detail on what it is. I don't know. I don't know my computer. I just bought it literally because I lost my laptop. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Just to end this, I want to try to create a new CSS class. We'll call it primary button, and we'll just change the background color to the variable yeah, here's the thing. Yeah, this is the problem now, because since we can't put objects here, we need to do it literally in a separate file. That's I'm really thinking. You need to do it here. All your colors at least. Primary button, and then this where you'll be using what you had here. Like that. And then instead of background, now we'll be using primary color. So primary hyphen color. And now you can just use this class in your buttons. So let's go back to, let's close this product card. And where's that button? It should be this one. Instead of BG blue, we'll use now primary button. And we'll get rid of the hover. We'll get rid of the focus ring. And that's it. We'll just fix that. Perfect. And yeah, let's save that. Let's go back to our online store. And that should be like that. And that's because in our color scheme, the primary color is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And now you can change it. If you want to change it to this, it should update the color of the buttons. So you can't really work with Tailwind with this. All your colors should be defined somewhere in the assets directory. Because in the assets, you can use objects like settings. But if you want, you can also use it here. literally just define your component styles in your layout. I know it can look like very messy, but that's just how it is, I guess. Now you can do the same thing for the rest, just to use all of this. Okay. Well, I guess that settles it. We already streamed for 3 hours. I'm gonna end it here. I'll be back, I guess. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah, I'll stream tomorrow. Same time. We'll be spending 3 hours again. And I can't promise to be streaming on weekends. That's the reason why I stream today. Because I'm not sure if I'm gonna be available on the weekend. Alright, boys and girls, if there's one. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned something. Thank you, Robbie, for cooperating or collaborating with me. Thanks to everyone who subscribed and who super chatted. There's one. I think there was one. Was it super chat or just subscribe? But whatever. Thank you so much for the subscription and the messages, the feedbacks, comments, the likes, the hearts. It was great. Had a great time. But yeah, I'll be seeing you again tomorrow, same time. And again, if this is your first time here, if you haven't joined our Discord server, the link is in the description below. You can check it out. And you can join our community. Yeah. All right, boys. I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Don't forget to bring your questions or your pretty faces. All right. See you guys. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself, okay? See you in the server. See you on the Discord server. Bye-bye.